Hey nail gang, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to do a French set with acrylic and also how to do a very easy stone placement that would look sophisticated and beautiful just like this one. Alrighty, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, so I'm starting off with already prepped nails. I've applied the tips already. I'm just going to apply primer now, and the primer I'm making use of is the one from Glitz by Saffet. I just got that bottle. I've run out of my previous primers, and so far this has been really good. So yeah, I'm just going to apply one coat of primer on all of the nails, and then we're going to go into the acrylic application of this set. If you want to see a very detailed tutorial on how to do nail prep, I have it linked in the description box. Alrighty, so for our base color, I'm making use of bubble gum from Glitz by Saffert as well, and it originally does not have glitters in it. I mixed out some glitters in there, which is why you can see some chunks of mylar glass. Yeah, there's a lot of things in there. So yeah. Alrighty, so to begin our French smile line, first off I pick up a bead and then I place it on the nail bed and I start to pat. I pat it to form like an almond shape. I want to say a U, like a half U, but I think an almond shape fits it much better. And then I'm basically making use of the tip of my brush, more of the tip of my brush than the belly of my brush, to just create that bead into the perfect almond to give like the perfect smile line. And then I just finish it off with a second bead that would fill up my cuticle and then form the apex, and then just generally create like our smile line in proper. So I'm cleaning up on my cuticle area now, because like I do emphasize, it's always good to make sure that your work is neat from the onset. Okay, so if you need to patch anywhere, now would be the time, especially when it comes to doing acrylic French. When it comes to like creating a smile line, you want to make sure that there is no spaces or gaps anywhere, because when you put the second color, especially around your cuticle area, when you put the second color, when you try to overlap it, if you have some spots that are supposed to be covered with maybe like your base color, the nude in this instance, then you just see that gap that is there, and you don't want that. So again, I pick up a bead and I just place on the nail bed and I pat using like the tip of my brush, just pat it around, and then I just also use the tip of my brush to sort of create like a U shape and just sort of guide that bead to stay into like an almond shape on the nail bed as opposed to flowing where it wants. And then I just pat it and play with it until it's solid enough to stay in that shape. And then I just feel the other part of the nail, which is like the cuticle area, with the second bead. Okay, so in essence I sort of do the smile line. I sort of create the smile line in like two beads. Yeah, I like to work with smaller beads when I'm like doing like acrylic French, because you don't want to work with a large bead that would set almost instantly, or like I just like to work with smaller beads. Working with a large bead, there's just the chances of the bead running or you not being able to control the bead at once. So to be on the safe side, work with smaller beads. That way you'll be able to know like how much product to put in there, where to address, and all of that. So it's better to like work slowly than try to rush and then just mess up the set. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat this now on all of the nails and let you guys watch for a while to see like all of the things that I do, and then I'll come back when we get to like the next step. Alrighty guys, so one important thing I forgot to mention when you're creating your own smile line is to make sure that you raise the acrylic, or you raise the smile line a bit higher than what you think the entire nail is going to be. So what you do is you sort of create like walls. You can see that my brush sort of lays on the side of the smile line when I like pat the bead, and the reason for that is so that towards when we are about to put in our second color, we would want to file on the sides of our smile line, and you sort of want somewhere for your brush, or sorry, for your nail file to rest on, so that you can create that crisp and perfect smile line. You would understand what I'm talking about much later in the video when we're done creating the smile lines. So we're done creating our smile lines. We're just going to crisp them up. Now if you remember earlier in the video when we're creating the smile lines, I said it's best to make sure we create like walls to sort of raise the acrylic a bit higher than what we think it would actually be. And the reason for that is this, so that when we are crisping up the smile line, our hand file can be able to rest on the acrylic to be able to give it that perfect like crisp file, or crisp smile line, sorry, when you're filing. I don't know what I'm saying, you guys. So yeah, so we're just crisping up our smile lines, sorry, and then we'll move to our next step. Okay, so for me, this step is really important, because if you make a mistake when you were creating your smile line at first, you can easily use your hand file to correct it by just filing. You could easily like make sure that your smile is perfect on the nail bed. So yeah. Alrighty guys, so for the second color we're making use of tart red, also from Glitz by Safat, and I'm just going to use this to overlap the the rest of the nail to form the free edge, and then just finish up on the empty spaces that we've left from creating our smile line. So I'm just going to pat this bead, pat and move it as carefully into, you know, the side walls of the nail as carefully and neatly as I can, because this powder does stain. So I'm not trying to get any product on my client's nails, because I don't just want to go through the whole stress of trying to take it out much later. You guys, when I work, I try to cut off work, or like, you know, anything that could be a burden or like more work to me later on. I try to avoid it as much as possible. So when I work, I try to make sure that my work is as you know, stress free as possible. I try to remove any unforeseen stress or future stress. So yeah, I'm just carefully filling in the side of the nails, and then I'm just cleaning up on the nail as well. And I'm going to do this to all of the nails, and then I'll come back to show you guys how I file. The filing in this video is not very detailed, but it is something that you guys will be able to learn from. Alrighty guys, so a little tip for when you're trying to fill up on the side walls of the nail, especially for acrylic French, is to work with beads that are not too wet and not exactly too dry. You want to work with like a much not very wet bead. No, but it's true, you guys. If you work with a really wet bead, the product would run on the sides, and if you work with like a bead that is not too wet, not too dry, almost like the perfect bead, yes, you would be able to manipulate the product around the nail, around the side walls, without having it spill. So it's just something to take note of. Also, feel free to turn your client's nails, you know, like in comfortable ways, because sometimes it might not be comfortable. So ask them if it's comfortable for them. Well, feel free to do that, you know, to turn their nails in any direction that you feel would, you know, be helpful to your application. Like now, the reason I had to turn my client's nails this much is because she, first of all, she was sleeping while we're doing her nails, and then secondly, like I really needed to get in there into that side wall without like staining it, or like having like the product overflowed the entire cuticle. And I had to sort of do it as quick as possible. So feel free to, or yeah, feel free to turn your client's nails, your client's hands, in directions that would be comfortable to you, but also take note in not like uncomfortable directions to them. So yes, you guys, still on this feeling of the nail process. I would make sure that this video has timelines as well, because if you're not interested in watching the application process or the filing, you might be interested in seeing the stone placement. So you could easily just click on the timeline, and it will take you straight to the stone placement, or any part of the video that would be preferable to you. Alrighty, so finally done with the application process, we're going straight into filing. I'm making use of my 100 grit nail file. To be fair, this file is not very good. It's okay, it's a good 100 grit, but you can't use it for more than a hand. Like, I'm not even talking of a full set, one hand. So yeah, but that's just me complaining about the file. 100 grit file. I'm going in. I did the side walls first. To maintain my shape, I usually like to file straight on, like on in the direction of the shape. So I hold my file and I make sure to keep it straight, not slanting or anything, before I go, like around the cuticle, the bulk, the nail, like just go over the entire nail. Now, if you were worried before that you've gotten the other color of your acrylic over another color, then hey, when you file this nail and you're done, you would see that that's just part of the process. So yeah, you guys, I'm just filing, doing the side walls, working my way down to the free edge, and then also just checking with my own hand as well, to be sure that I've not overfiled the nail, or that there's no spots that are missing, because sometimes the nail can be bumpy on one side and it's really good on the other side. So you might not be able to see it, but your hand would be able to feel it. So make sure to fill in around on your nail when you file. And then also I also like to turn my client's hands over sometimes, because it makes me file much easier, and then also I can just see what it is that they are looking at from their angle when you turn the nails over. Alrighty, I also do make use of my sanding bit, but I didn't show a full video. I was recording, but or at least I thought I was recording, but apparently I wasn't. So this was like the only part that I was able to get, which is why I said I didn't get like a very detailed video of me filing. But anyways, after like debulking the nail, going over with my e-file, I usually like to, like go over my shape as well, file out the side walls, keep it crisp before, like turning the nails over to crisp up the free edge. Alrighty guys, so we're done filing and I just wanted you guys to see my shape properly. Just admiring, the shape. We're just going to move now into buffering the nails. And I'm just using this buffer. Yeah, it's an OPI buffer, but I'm not even sure if that's the original OPI buffer, to be fair. I got this at a local supply store and it does buff the nail properly, so why not? And plus it's very comfy to use, to be fair. It is very comfy to use. Anyways, I'm just buffering these nails smooth, and then I'm going to have my clients go wash her hands, and then we'll come back to do the stone placements for just the cylinder design for this set. Alrighty guys, so we're back from washing our hands. I'm just going to make use, okay, so for our stone placement, first off, let me not just jump into the whole what I'm making use of. But for our stone placement, first off, I haven't like applied top coat or anything on the nails. I'm going to apply nail glue. That's what I use, although I recently found out that Glitz by Safford does have rhinestone gel, so I'm going to try that really soon, as soon as I can get my hands on. But anyways, I'm just applying nail glue, and then I'm going to apply these horse eye rhinestones. Yes, these ones, I really like these ones, so every time I'm able to buy rhinestones, I always make sure to include this particular shape because they do come in handy. I love how they look. Alrighty, so we're just going to put some smaller stones as well, like something to just match this nice V that we've created. To be fair, I when I was creating this, right, when I was like doing the stone placement, I just wanted to do something that was big, that would cover up the entire nail, but at the same time, the nail looks covered up, but it's not entirely covered up. So yeah, so we're just going to use some small stones as well to complement these. I'm going to try to make like zoom in closer so that you guys can see clearly what I'm doing. So the idea for this stone placement is to do like a junk nail, to like fill in the nail with any rhinestone that I could possibly find, which is why I'm not like selecting colors. I'm just picking any stone that would appropriately fit, like any stone that the size is right is what I'm going to put in. So yeah, you guys, drunk nail, I got this from Fetish. I got the idea from Fetish for Nails on Instagram. She does like nice curved nails that I really really do love. So yeah, she does something similar to drunk nails. Yeah, so she does that, and I really do like it. And it's like an idea that I've adopted as well. So I just fill the nail with any rhinestone that would possibly fit in that position. So it doesn't really, really matter. We're not like looking to put, we're not like looking to properly arrange the stones. Or like we're not also even looking for like colors of stones or anything like that. We're just looking for any stone that would fit in, the space that is created. Alrighty, so to fill up the rest of the nail, I'm just making use of these drop shaped rhinestones, and I'm not putting them in the actual drop direction. I'm inverting them. I'm laying them sideways so that way they just form up to look like, no, they form up to fill up the entire space of the nail, but at the same time, they don't fill up the entire space. So it's so so pretty. I like it. When I looked at it, I told my client, I was like, this looks like a machine. It just looks strong and it looks full, and it's so so pretty. So yeah, I'm just going to fill up the side now with like some very tiny stones. I believe I eventually put a little caviar bead instead because I couldn't find any stone that would fit, like the space. So yeah, so after this, you guys, we're going to apply top coat. I'm making use of matte top coat on all the nails apart from the one with the rhinestone. The one with the rhinestone, I'm going to fill in with glossy top coat, also from Glitz by Safat. So when I'm done, I'm going to cure in the lamp, and then I'll show you guys the final result. Alrighty guys, so we're back from the lamp and I'm loving that matte top coat. Alrighty, so I'm just going to apply some cuticle oil and I'm making use of an old gel brush to do this. Because it's matte and I don't want to get oil on, like the matte surface. If not, it's going to be glossy and it's just going to look funny. I'm just applying with a brush instead around the cuticle. That way I could, not stain the matte top coat that we've put on the nails. So yeah, after this, you guys, I'll show you guys what the nails look like and how pretty they are. But we've come to the end of the tutorial. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this video was really helpful, and I hope it was. The stone placement, the acrylic application, and then yeah, even the shaping and the filing. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in my next video.